It's Triple Crown here, Saturday, July 6, 2024, still part 3 of the Nashville vlog, the final part. There's a lot of exciting things that happen here at the end of Saturday. One of the first things that I'll show you here is the Justin Jefferson Midnight RPA. I talked about it extensively day 1 and day 2. A lot of people interested. I'm about to get the best offer I have received to this point on that card. Let's see if it's enough to get the deal done or if I need to think about it.
I gotta run to my table.
Yeah.
I'm only at 14. It's $100 off.
Come back to me in like 5-10 minutes. So I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
They are negotiating.
I confirmed with Justin that the 1400 was okay. This was his card, and we were thinking that we were going to go for 15 on it, but I think 14 is close enough here to get the deal done, all things considered. The guy who I was talking to is extremely nice. I was more than willing to come down the extra $100 for him just because of the way that he carried himself and the fact that he was very friendly when he came up to the table. It just goes to show that if you have a positive attitude when you approach a table or are approached, it may go your way sometimes in ways that you may not expect. Just, following the golden rule can at times help lend you to get better deals than kind of being Mr. Big Shot in some cases. But you can see there I got my Bedard Young gun out there. I have a buyer interested in that. So things are really starting to pick up here in the second half of Saturday. Not that the first half was slow by any means, but a lot of people have been circling back over and over on some of these big cards like that Jefferson, which I'm about to move, and as well as that Burrow Color Blast that I mentioned several times in the part 1 and part 2 videos.
How big is it? Like
Yeah, I don't know how big the set is.
Okay,
I started getting it because I bought up a bunch of Kareem Hunt, and then I saw those, and I was like, let me try to. But I could never find the Cower. A couple of the other guys, like there's a Zach Thomas in there, Ed Too Tall Jones, Derek Carr, Troy Brown. I think there's a Zay Flowers in there. Just a bunch of random. Jamal Adams, I think, was in there. I'm going to get 200 for the set, or the box of it. Minus birds. Yeah.
You doing all right?
It's been good. Buy some and drink.
Okay, 1 sec. I just want to see how big the set is, and I also want to see if Mahomes is in it, because that
I don't think Mahomes was in the autograph set, to be honest with you. I think Kareem Hunt took that Chief spot.
I hope you're right, because if I get tempted to just go for it, I don't want to have to.
And it sucks because I have the Kareem Hunt. I have like multiples of the Kareem Hunt, but they're in my Kareem Hunt personal box, and I didn't bring an extra one to put into the box.
This is certainly up there among my more unique things that has come up to the table in 2024. This is a partial set of the 2017 Vertex Football Difference Makers Autograph subset. 47 cards in there. He has 32 in this box. There is one duplicate, which is that graded card you see kind of facing sideways in the box. But the checklist is kind of all over the place. There are rookies in this, but there's really no big names. There's no McCaffrey, there's no Watson, there's no Mahomes. There are a lot of Hall of Famers in there. There's LaDainian Tomlinson. There's some guys who signed a lot of different Panini products. And then you have guys who are current stars in the game. For example, Tyreek Hill is in this. Derek Carr, if you can call him a star at the time, was in this as well. And then there's coaches. Bill Parcells is in there, I believe. And then you heard him say that there was a Bill Cowher autograph. This thing is really all over the place. Now, you heard my comment that I'm looking to see if Mahomes is in there. Anytime I see a 2017 set, I want to see if Mahomes is in there, because there are 2 ways that I can really look at this. I can see what he's missing here, go for the complete set that I don't really know what I'm going to do with the set, or look at these as individual autographs that I can break apart in a lot and therefore kind of buy them in a bulk rate of a price per card standpoint. What I did right there is I looked over the checklist, kind of looking through his cards now to see what I'm missing. A lot of the ones I was missing are things like the Tyreek Hill, and basically cards that would be some of the headliners in the set. That LT is one of the 2 that was numbered to 10 in the set. There was another one, I think it was the Derek Carr, but he did not have that one in there. Overall, it wasn't going to be worth the time to put this set together like I initially thought it would be, just because I have some of the low-hanging fruit here, but finding the big ones, it would just take too much time. Therefore, I'm going to look at this as a autograph lot that I'm going to purchase instead and just break apart into individual pieces.
I think 200 is pretty fair. It's less than $10 a card. I know there's a Zach Thomas on there right now on eBay for 80. There's no solds on them. There's not very much solds on for these that I could see.
It puts 200 puts about $650 a card.
And I know a couple of them probably sell for a little bit more than that, but
since I have moved away from lower end cards, or at least handling them on my own, sending most of them to ComC, I have really lost sight of the value of certain cards. Like, for example, some of the autographs in here are guys that don't always sign on products, and therefore there are collectors out there who are looking for pack-pulled certified autos of these guys, and they're willing to pay up for them. For example, I got $25 out of the John Kuhn auto, 25 from the Steve Tasker. I think the Steve McMichaels brought 40 apiece. Guys who you wouldn't suspect to bring those kind of prices. You might think that there's $5 to $10 autos there, but sometimes you're surprised, and some of those guys sell better than you think. I need to work on that for sure.
I know there's a basketball set too. I don't know if you're looking to collect them all, but
I didn't know I was looking to collect these until
just till now. Yeah.
Let's split it at 180.
Give me 190 just to make me feel like I'm winning. Like you said, it's $650 a card at 200, so. And you know a couple of those are going for $20, $30 a piece. You know what I mean? Like, I thought 200 was pretty fair. So if you could do 190, I'd take that.
Yeah, this has piqued my curiosity enough to do it. You got a deal.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm really glad I ended up taking this. Of the 32 cards that were in the box, I got 16 for ComC and 16 for myself that would go out into my showcases here. So I get this gentleman his cash and shake his hand, send him on his way. He actually had these in a Pokemon ETB box, and apparently the empty box sells for like $50. So he asked me if he could have his box back, and I said, yeah, I can understand why you would want to have that box back. But very glad that I picked that up again. I got some interesting autographs in there. I was kind of focusing too much on the lower end stuff. There was guys like Amara Darboh in there who didn't really ever pan out in their NFL careers, and I didn't get a chance to really appreciate some of the autographs that you don't necessarily see every day. I'm sure the collectors out there who are looking for those autographs and ended up buying them from me were also appreciative that I bought them, because I made them available to those people to add to their collection. So this was a really cool buy. Definitely lifted my spirits there in the midday portion of the show. You're seeing that right. That is the 2022 Prism Black Finite Jamar Chase 1/1. If you follow me on Instagram, there's a good chance that you saw this card posted on my story and or in my feed, because I ended up posting it when I got back from the show that weekend. But boy, oh boy, when this walked up to my table, I was stunned, if I had to put it in a word. This gentleman came up, asked if I was buying, and that was the first card that came out. And for this card to come up to me, I was one of the first people that he had shown it to. As being someone who's from Cincinnati, who buys a lot of Burrow and Chase stuff, it felt like it was fate. I knew when this walked up to me, I had to get this card. I had to go for it. I fell in love with it instantly. It's just one of those opportunities that you don't always get to buy something like this. That's why I had to have it. So we're talking about it here. We're also kind of talking about where we're from. I told them that I was from Cincinnati. We're talking about some LCSs in Ohio, including Card Collector 2, Ryan's shop out there. But I'm kind of just thinking in the background, like, I can't believe that I am holding this Jamar Chase 1/1 here. He's got that Zion Rolly case as well. And he had told me that he has 35 of those Zion cases full at home, which is a lot of cards, and he had quite the variety, as you will see here in a moment. But first things first, before anything else, I need to get that Jamar Chase.
I don't know if you saw
That's good. No, I didn't see that. Okay, that's good to know.
What app do you guys use?
Card Ladder. Yeah, it's a paid one. It's like $15 a month.
Like I said, I'm new. I've been doing it 2 years, but I've never bought a single card. I lied. I just bought.
That's a big boy card right there.
Yeah.
No, I mean a big boy card. Like that's strapper.
I got a lot of one-on-ones.
JT wants it. He's gonna offer it. I want to watch.
I've been looking for an Ohio guy.
We're all Ohio guys.
Yeah, you come to the Ohio corner.
If you pass on it, I might offer after he's done, but I think he's gonna get it from me.
I guess the golden question is, how much do you want for it?
I'm open to offers. I don't know.
There's no.
I mean, I kind of got a ball figure because my buddy Chef was like, you know, it's a 1-on-1. A guy can say, hey, I'll give you 200, or a guy can say, I'll give you 200,000. It's the card I want. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's worth that much.
Did you get upcharged?
It was certainly nice to have some help on this one. You'll hear that voice in the background. That's actually a friend from back in the Cincinnati show area who saw the card, and he was actually shopping for cards from me. Happened to be there when the Jamar Chase popped up, and he was helping me look it up. So big thank you to him. He knows who he is for assisting me in trying to acquire this Jamar Chase here. But I want to point out that the fact that the gentleman said that he hadn't bought a card before, what he meant to say was that he hadn't sold a card before, which again was just shocking to me, because you would think that, you know, everyone sold a card before. But when someone is approaching looking to sell for the very first time, it is definitely a situation that needs to be handled with a lot of care, because if someone has a bad experience the first time they sell, they may not come back to sell again. And I'm not talking about come back to me to sell again. I'm talking about selling in general. It can sour them on the hobby, cause them to leave. We definitely don't want that. This guy was incredibly friendly, had a good head on his shoulders, just overall a really great guy to talk with. I don't want to see him leave the hobby, and I don't want to be the reason why he left the hobby because he feels like I screwed him over on this Jamar Chase or anything else that I was looking to buy from him at this point in time. So I want to walk him through things. You saw that he asked about what app I'm using. I told him about Card Ladder. You'll notice that there were several cuts in the conversation there. That's because I wanted to talk about the apps and kind of how I do it. But for this, I want to know where his range is at. I'm going to keep asking him, you know, what is your range? Because I don't know what he thinks it's worth. He could tell me it's worth 500. He could tell me it's worth 5,000. I have an idea of where I think it's at. I think it's anywhere from 2 to 25 on a good day. It could fetch 3,000. If I bought it, I would probably put it out at around $3,500. Now, I'm going to have to try to work on this. Hopefully his range isn't the same as mine, because if it's not, then it might be a little bit more difficult to acquire this card. But first and foremost, I need to figure out where his head is at on this.
You going to Cleveland?
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there. Yeah. I'm going to bring a lot of myself.
You will have a lot
You're
of
going to need
fun
a
there.
truck?
No. Yeah.
Rent a U-Haul and drive up to Ohio. That's pretty solid. Yeah, but he gets, it's his table. He gets to look at everything. I'm just a bystander.
I'm not going to be able to buy all this, so you want to start looking at stuff.
Tell me what you don't want, and I'll make offers on a couple things. But I know you care about that the most, so go do that.
Whatever else you want to look at, like, you know what, if you
I would want this if you don't.
Yeah, all you.
I would probably want this if you don't.
Now listen, this is the first table I even opened my box.
I hear you. Hey, we do this all the time. We'll be gentle.
This kind of caused a scene here when he brought out all of these slabs. There were so many people looking at our table like, what is going on over here? And I had several guys who knew me come over and saw all these. They're like, did you just buy all these? And I had a few of my friends look through it too. I mean, it did come up to my table. Kind of dealer etiquette there is that if it comes up to your table, you get first crack at it. But I told my friends, like, hey, I really want that Jamar Chase. The other stuff is going to be ancillary to that. That is my top priority. So anything else, take a look at. But I was overwhelmed by all the stuff I saw there. There's a Devontae Adams that he just pushed forward towards me. LE 101 Leaf Metal Auto. That Mahomes Field Level White. The Ray Lewis Gold Sparkle. There's a Mike Evans Refractor that I put in my stack over there. The Jordan Love Autograph from Panini 1. There was everything and anything in his case. He had an absolutely insane, very well-rounded collection. I do like that.
Okay.
Let me start with this.
Look on that.
Yeah, what is your range, I guess, on this, just so I know it's going to be something.
It's your card. Just give him the number.
I would honestly, I'd say between 2 and 25.
Okay.
Seems fair.
I know it's probably worth 4 or 5, but I'm not here to. I got it for $59.
Well, yeah.
Plus an upcharge.
Right.
I think I paid.
Yeah. That's a massive relief because his range is exactly my range on it. Now, he says it could be worth up to $4 to $5 grand. That is true. I mean, to the right buyer, it could fetch that amount. But realistically, I definitely feel that I could put $3,500 on it and try to get $3,000 for it. That's what I'm trying to keep in mind when I see a card like this is, okay, what am I realistically going to try to get out of this? Because it's one thing to buy the card, it's another thing to eventually move it, since I'm not buying this for my personal collection. I don't mind holding this card by any means, but it is one that for sure I need to make sure that I'm thinking with my head in addition to my heart, because my heart is screaming from the rooftop seeing a card that is this cool. Now, I feel that if I can get it at the 2,000 range, that will give me a lot of maneuverability when it comes time to sell. But if I have to come up to the 2,500 mark, then I could definitely live with that. I think what I'm going to try to do is add in that Mike Evans auto and maybe one more cheap slab to get a nice round number. And then maybe I can focus on some of the lower end slabs a little bit later on. But for right now, it's all about getting that Ja'Marr Chase.
You got any Dallas cards? Dallas cards.
Dallas.
Cowboys?
Nothing big, just some like cheap $20 stuff. You only do football?
Nah, not really. I do baseball. I don't do basketball really.
Who's your team for baseball?
Braves.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I have some Braves in there. I mean, nothing crazy, but like I have all those there.
I would be interested in that one.
Olsen, okay.
This one.
Strider. Okay. We got the Ozzy Albies auto down there.
I'd be interested. Matter of fact, you can just get all the Braves out.
Yeah. I'll take those out.
We'll work something out with them.
I did ask him off camera here, is there anything that I have that you would be interested in, which is what prompted that Cowboys comment and asking if I had any Cowboys cards. And then I asked him, if he is interested in any other sports as well. He's a baseball guy as well, and he's a Braves fan, which is perfect because I bought a ton of Braves cards to bring down here. In Nashville, there is no pro team. There is the Lookouts. I think they're AAA of, I want to say the Brewers, but really it's Braves country. There were a lot of Braves fans here, which would make sense why he is one. I think he actually had a Braves shirt on, which is why I said, oh, that makes sense. But he was interested in all the Braves cards I had. I had some decent stuff in there, including some things I had just picked up. The Heritage Throwback Ozzy Albies is a really rare card, probably the most expensive one among the bunch there, but also some nice color, a lot of variety in there. There's a Strider, an Olsen, an Acuna, an Albies. I mean, pretty much everybody from the core is covered in there, minus a couple of guys. But basically what I want to do is try to offload as much of the cost I'm going to have to put into these cards on those. I'm going to expect that he's going to want the full 25 in value on the Ja'Marr Chase. I really wouldn't expect to move off of that, especially if we're trading, because most people wouldn't trade a card like that. But he seems open to it. This would be a big boost to his Braves collection, and I can get a few things that I really like, including, of course, that one of one that's staring me in the face. So I'm pretty confident we're going to work something out at this point.
I'll be here tomorrow too.
I'll have to stop by with some whole new inventory.
Yeah.
I got probably 30 of these plumb full PSAs and stuff.
What you're going to see me do here is start shuffling around my cards and kind of figure out where I value them at. He hadn't tried to negotiate off my stickers on any of my Brave stuff, but clearly if he's going to take on this many cards, I am going to give him some kind of discount off of them and try to figure out where I value all of them at, and then come up with something that's fair for both sides for the 3 cards that you see down below. So I'm adding those up right now and then kind of subtracting them off of where I would want to offer cash-wise on his 3 cards.
You wanted all the Braves here?
Yeah, I'll take
Okay. I still want to watch this. This is fun. This total sticker price on these is $975, just so you know. I'm going to knock a little bit off. I do $1,500 cash for these 3.
15.
So we said 7 and 225?
Yes. And you didn't want these 2?
I'm good on those 2, yeah. I have a lot of LEs back home that I don't bring them here because it's out of market. So
yeah, I get it. You say 15.
What are you doing on the Chase? Figure it out yet? Working on that with the Lewis and Evans. What do you? I just want to know what you're going to value it at.
Yeah, what are you valuing?
This one here?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess anywhere, like you said, 2 to 25. Like my first gut was 25. I was kind of looking at some of the other ones, and I think like on the low it's 2, on the high maybe it's 3. At 2, I'm extremely comfortable. I'll hold on to it if nothing else. I moved my favorite, like most of my best cards the last 2 weekends, so I'm looking for something new to have.
What was you valuing this one? Oh.
Somewhere between 350 and 4. This one like 50 to 60 probably.
Yeah. Can you do 18 in this?
What did I say, 15?
Yeah.
You could do 16. And I might be interested in more of those. It's just gonna, I don't know, work these out first and then see where I'd be at from there.
I'll meet you in the middle at 17.
Okay.
So it just makes everybody all.
Let me pay for these and then I'll look at the rest.
You do it?
Yeah, we
I got it.
Sick card, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of people were really happy for me when I got this card, and I was very happy for me too. I'm glad that we could work out a deal. I boosted his Braves collection up a little bit, and I landed the Jamar 1 of 1. I could not be more thrilled to have it. As soon as I put it up on social media, and I got a lot of inquiries for it, but I was going on vacation the day after, and I wanted to enjoy owning it for a little bit. I told people, hey, it'll be available when the time is right, but the time is not right now. I want to be able to kind of sit on it and think about it, because it's rare that you have a card like that come up to your table, or at least it's been rare for me. As I continue to grow, maybe more opportunities will come my way, but that was a big time deal for me. And this gentleman was incredibly cool to work with. I hope to see him up here in Cleveland. But again, thank you, sir. This was an awesome experience making this transaction. That was pretty much it for day 2. The only other big deal that I made was moving my Joe Burrow Color Blast at 1250. I've mentioned that a couple of times, but it happened not too long after the Jamar Chase deal went down. Overall, it was a fantastic show. I dabbled in trade night for a little bit, got a few cool things there, but I was just super thrilled to have that Jamar card. Sunday was a little slower. I think I only did like 1,000 in sales, which wasn't terrible considering the crowd was a lot lighter, but it could have been better, but it was what it was. I was thrilled with how things had gone at that point in time. I did get a little lucky, though, at the end of the show. As I was throwing away some of the trash in my area, I went to the table that was next to the trash can, and lo and behold, the card that you see on screen was sitting there. Now, I've had this debate several times on if I was willing to crack and go for a PSA 10 for one of my cards for my set needs, and ultimately I decided if there was one card to go after for my Blue Refractor Topps Chrome set in a 10, it would be the Gunner Rookie. Sure enough, I ended up picking it up. I bundled it with a Chase Brown RPA, but it was nice to definitely take something home for myself. I am now down to 3 Blue Refractors. One of them's in transit, but so 4 technically, but really 3 more to buy, and I hope to acquire all of those at the National. I did not record any footage from the show I was at this past weekend because I needed to finish getting this Nashville vlog, and then I want to do a rewind episode that will be out later in the week. I actually did sell the Jamar Chase on Friday as of the time I'm recording this, and I will talk more about the sale of that when I do the rewind video eventually for this show. But expect a rewind video later this week if you're not going to be at the National, or catch up whenever you're back home from Cleveland. I hope to see many of you there. If you see me, feel free to stop and say hello. I'll have some of my stickers with me if you like a sticker. But looking forward to Cleveland. There is nothing like the National. There will be a lot of vlogs coming out from that the week after I get back. So hopefully you're looking forward to that as much as I am. But until next time, take care, stay safe, and be kind.